Who else but Mark White joins us now to tell us exactly what's going on. More glue?
Yes, unfortunately for the motorist, I'm back, the Grim Reaper, to bring this news of more in the way of chaos being caused by Insulate Britain. Of course, they have really manipulated the media once again into covering this story. Everybody is covering it. Another news channel have their helicopter up, expecting protests around the M25, is what we were told. Well, they've not struck the M25, have they? They've struck the A40 in West London and a roundabout in Dartford. That doesn't mean they won't go to the M25 later, but they are manipulators. They manipulate us into covering it. It's a difficult one for us because there is news value in the disruption that they're causing. You know, if we don't do it, we get accused of censorship in not covering it. But then there's the other issue is I'm quite conflicted about giving them the oxygen of publicity again, because this is their goal, and they've achieved that by getting us to the headlines. If you remember Insulate Britain, we'd never heard of them.
No.
It was
a happier time, wasn't it?
Everybody was confusing them for Extinction Rebellion. They are an offshoot. But of course now everybody's heard of them. They are talked about. They've made a calculation that, you know, despite the fact they are upsetting many people, and we say that that's turning everybody off the cause of environmentalism, from their goal, they've achieved what they want to do, which is to get this on the agenda, get everybody talking about it, knowing their name. So from that point, it's a win-win for them.
Yeah. Can I just bring your attention, actually, to a tweet I saw from 2 days ago from Grant Shapps, Transport Secretary, who said, "Today I instructed National Highways to apply for an injunction covering the entire strategic road network. Tonight this has been granted on a temporary basis by the High Court." So I'm quite confused about why they're still sort of being allowed to do this if these injunctions are in place.
You're not the only one, and it's quite complex, to be honest. The injunctions that the government are going for, they sound great and grand in terms of big announcements that we, again, follow suit and, publicise this, and it looks like the government is taking decisive action. Well, I suppose they are, but it's some way down the road because it's a civil matter. So they are breaking the law currently by blocking the Queen's Highway. That is a criminal offence under the Road Traffic Act. The sanctions against them are all relatively minor at the end of the day, fines and that kind of thing. And of course, they are not held in custody for any length of time. They're processed and released, and they're going back out and doing the same protest over and over again. The injunction was seen as a potential solution because breaking the injunction, you are in contempt of court, potentially. Judges take that much more seriously. It has, at the very maximum level, although no one's ever going to be jailed for 2 years. But it's still, you know, a more severe sanction. But because it's a civil process and they have to serve injunctions on people and set trial dates, etc., it's some way off. So it's going to be the end of November before we get that court case dealing with 124 of these activists who've been served with that injunction. In the meantime, they're out there just continuing to blockade roads, cause people absolute misery who caught up in that, and getting attention and getting us talking about it.
They are, but you're absolutely spot on. We can't ignore it, and it's just this annoying cycle that we're caught up in, isn't it? But at least we're not on the A40, I suppose. Mark, thank you very, very much there. Mark White, our Home Affairs and Security Editor.